Good morning, everybody. Happy Black Friday. If the women up there are like my mother and my wife are when on this day, that you've been up since about 3 o'clock in the morning, standing in line in some store that you want to buy something that they have. I go online and worry about it. Okay. First up, did you see the story that Trump is offering the U.S. Navy up to the Russians? That's the stupidest story I've read in a long time. But it's possible. That's the scary thing about it. Because Donald's out there trying to auction off the country because Donald is in this for the money. You must understand that. He's not in it to help you or to help the country. Donald's in it for the money for him. All right? Get that through your thick skulls and then come back and we'll have a serious conversation about that. Now the UK, that's Britain, England, whatever you want to call it, is passing a bill about assisted suicide. Now, there are those that hate that idea and think that it's immoral, that people should just be left alone to die. They shouldn't have the right. They shouldn't have the right to choose the way they die and everything like that. I don't know. Listen. I've seen personally what cancer can do to a family, how it can destroy them financially, how it can just ruin their lives. Okay, because the doctors will spend money after dollar of your money till there's nothing left, and that's what happened to my father. When his insurance ran out, he was left to die. Till then, they did everything. I don't think he wanted to die, but that's, I don't think he was looking to commit assisted suicide or get out of the way so the family could get on with their stuff. I don't think he did that. I think he was what he was, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. That was his decision. All right. But I like the England because the opportunity is there. Now, I thought about what would happen to me if I got really, really sick and everything, and because my wife isn't going to take care of me, and that's just, she's not capable of doing it. She's not capable of taking care of herself. And you've got no family members down here. And my family in the United States, I don't want them to have to take care of me. That's ridiculous. They worked hard for the money they have and the savings they had. And there's no reason in the world they should spend it on me. Not that they would. I'm not the most popular person in the world. But anyhow, the problem I have with it is that I have an insurance policy for my wife when I pass away, and it would be invalid if I committed suicide. And assisted deaths are considered suicide now. So I don't I don't know how that's going to go. But like I said, I've seen what an individual that now, if the individual wants to fight, and I'm not saying that somebody other than the individual that's in the dying process has the right to say that. Right now you can only come up with the person's brain dead. You can take them off the machinery, and if they die, they die. That's fine. That's not assisted. So I don't think that's considered assisted suicide. I think that's considered a natural death. But if you sit there and somebody else decides that they want to get rid of this guy, for the insurance or something, the assisted suicide is not. That's illegal. It has to be the individual. He either has to have a what they call a living will, which decides his fate, or his or her fate, or they have a something in the system that allows them to make that decision. And I think that's their right. But again, you have the insurance companies and whatnot involved in this that are not part of the not part of that decision. That they have policies towards assisted suicide, and that has nothing to do with Like, okay, I'm not sure that. Let's say I'm not even sure if it is illegal or illegal down here, but let's say I live in Colombia and I have terminal illness and I don't want to be around much longer, and I need to make a decision, assisted suicide or assisted death. I think that sounds better. And but it may be legal where I am, but it's not legal in the United States, and therefore the insurance companies don't have to honor the policy that I've been paying into my whole life. They make a lot of money off of people like that, you know. People that have insurance policies that I don't know if they pay off insurance policies and then they have to pay it, you know, they pass away or something and the money goes to the state or it goes back to the company. Excuse me. Watched football last night. We'll talk about that when I'm done here. But it's a very sad situation, but that's one of the things about they talk about with cancer. You know, that's how people deny that these kind of bills is cancer, because there may be a cure for cancer. I've said for years there probably is, but there's no money in the cure. Okay, you cure cancer, it's like polio. People made billions of dollars off of polio. They cured polio because it was killing the youth of America, and it was costing a fortune to keep people alive. But that's why they made a fortune. So now it's, you know, the drug companies lost a lot of money on that deal when they cured polio. Well, the same thing if they cure cancer, forget about it. You'll see pharmaceutical companies go out of business in two weeks, because the medicine they sell to keep you alive is a big part of that. You know, nothing's going to cure you. You know, but that's when I forgot this comedian's name, did a whole routine on this. Why is there no cure for cancer? Because there's no money in a cure. Well, they say, well, they'll get billions of dollars if they do that. Yes. But, like any business, okay, they make money off of repeat sales. Just like any other business does, just like a restaurant does, makes more business if you come back, if you keep coming back as a customer, all right? They stay in business. If you don't, they'll go out of business sooner or later. It's the same thing in the pharmaceutical industry. If they find a cure for cancer, even one cancer, they'll lose billions of dollars over the course of a couple of years or so. Not right away, but, you know, coming. Okay, so that's the depressing. Well, that's not the most depressing thing, but that's one of my. And that's just my opinion. Again, you know, everything here is my opinion. I don't have any. I don't, you know, supplement it. Sometimes if there are facts to support my opinion, I will give you the facts. And there are facts in this case. I mean, if you have ever been part of a family where a breadwinner, and you see, when my father died, my mother didn't work. Women didn't work back then. Okay, so she wasn't going to be able to get a credit card, a lease, or anything else. Okay, but fortunately she had some political friends that pulled some strings and everything worked out. But as a rule, you know, it doesn't work that way. You're screwed, you know. People that don't have friends back then, you know, they don't have anything. And my father used up borrowed every dime of his life insurance policy. All right, we used the Social Security death benefit to pay for his funeral. Plus, the family came in, and what they could kick in, they did. You know, my brother alienated the entire family by coming up and demanding to thinking that there was insurance money there, and that my mother stole it, and that he needed to have money paid back to him, $8,000 or something like that he had lent my father at one time. I said, first of all, he knew he was your father too, you know, and he was your father more than he was your father by blood. You're my stepbrother. You know, you're not, as far as I'm concerned, you can kiss my ass. Well, he's passed away since then, and his wife was a lovely. That's how it works out, you know. A prick gets a really nice. That's what my father did. My father was a prick, and he got a really wonderful woman for a wife. Those were the days, right? All right, enough about that. Let's talk about next issue coming up is there's the Canadians are gearing up for a trade war with the United States, which Trump didn't expect. You know, I don't know what Trump thought he was doing when he went up against Canada. I mean, I'm not sure what the reasoning behind it is. I do know that he doesn't like the fact that a lot of some automobile companies are operating in Canada and sending their vehicles here, sending the vehicles back into the United States to be sold, and somehow or another he's not making any money off of it. So Trump and Reagan are similar in the sense that Reagan looked at Social Security and said, "There's a surplus there. We can use that money." Well, they didn't exactly use it the way it was supposed to, but they used it, but they never replaced it because they said, "We'll borrow from it," you know, and they never did. Well, Trump's the same way. Trump doesn't pay back people, you know. Trump files bankruptcy or something to avoid payment. He's got billions of dollars, but he's not paying $100,000 to some small-time contractor. You know, that's just not the way he works. He believes people always inferior work. What, the hotel fell down? You know, come on. He doesn't like to pay people. And, but that's besides the point. Now he's going into this trade war with Canada. And Mexico's the same thing. You know, he's talking about his subordinate people are talking about invading Mexico or sending selected kill teams down there to the border to take care of the leadership or whatever to kill it. You know, you're not going to get rid of them all. All right. The problem with drugs is the same that it's always been. Remove the demand. Okay. Then they have to go. That's what they're doing now. They're going to Australia because the demand is decreased, and they can make more money. They're making more than enough money to cover the cost of shipping the drugs from Colombia and what have you to Australia. But one of the big drugs out there is meth. I don't know the whole name of it, but they call it meth. These people can make this in a shack in the middle of the desert. Is it dangerous to make? Yes. You need somebody with a degree in chemistry or some sort of chemistry education. But the point is that you have motorcycle gangs across the country running this drug all over the place, and I'm not sure of its addictive qualities or what have you. I know it destroys a lot of people, but so does everything. So does alcohol. You know. And that's how by the way, that's how the Kennedys got their money, through prohibition. You know, they didn't in other illegal activities. So that's something to think about. But forgot my train of thought. Hold on. This trade war is isn't going to hurt the countries. See, again, the deal with tariffs is the importing company pays the tariff, not the exporting company. His theory is that they won't import the goods anymore. My theory is that the demand stays there. They're going to continue to import the product, and you pass the price on to the consumer. It's the same thing in the drug industry. You make the drugs more expensive, then criminals have to do more crime. Crime rates go up. I don't believe that there's a way you can stem the sale of the flow of drugs across the border until you can educate the American people, and it's not going to work. No, please, they've tried this before. But you educate people to the extent that they understand they can't use these drugs. They're destroying their lives. Most of the people that start using these drugs are not highly educated people. You know, but that's how cocaine got into the mainstream, was that it was a drug for the rich and famous to do because, you know, it was cool back in the 60s. So was marijuana. It was cool. Now marijuana is sort of becoming legal. I don't know whether Trump will keep it that way or not. Most police departments have used that as a way to use marijuana as a way to acquire informants or to put dealers of other drugs into jail, because marijuana was an easier drug to bust people for, I guess. I don't know. All right, listen. About the football game last night. I watched the Giants, and when that game was over, they had some bad breaks in that game. When every time they would start moving the ball or something like that, you know, there'd be a penalty or something. All right. But as my friend says, thank God they didn't win, because they're playing for a draft choice now. You know, they need a quarterback, and they're all saying that it's Deion Sanders, Shaquem Sanders, or whatever his name is, from Colorado, that they should go after. And I'm telling you, no. Okay, that guy's got a personality that's too big for the Giants. Okay, too big for their coaching staff, and you're gonna end up with Deion Sanders as the coach or something if that happens. You know, and that's just not going to work out real well for everybody. So they find a quarterback like they found Manning. Was he a Hall of Fame quarterback? I still have my doubts about that. But apparently, if you win a Super Bowl, you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. So what are you going to do? It has nothing to do with the fact that they had a great coach and the team was an outstanding group of players. So anyhow, so the game sucked last night, basically. You know, the other game was pretty good. Trying to figure out, today's a good game. Today's the Chiefs game. Yeah, that'll be a good day today. So anyhow, everybody take care. I will talk to you tomorrow.